Hey everybody, welcome to another good e-reader review video. My name is Michael.
This is Peter.
Today we're going to check out the Cybook Odyssey HD with Frontlight. This is the brand new e-reader that the company's released, and we're going to put it through its paces today to show you how it handles PDFs, ebooks, and all of the different features. Just to give you an idea on the specs, it's 6 inches, it's e-ink Pearl, the resolution is 1024 by 758, and it's powered by an 800 megahertz Cortex A8 Texas Instruments processor, a 128 MB of RAM, 2 gigs of internal storage, and Peter here is going to give you the 360.
On the front, you'll notice a very unique design. It's a rectangle, but it pillows out on each corner. You can see it it's almost rounded. Very unique design. Nothing else kind of looks like that. Home, menu kind of button like a Barnes & Noble N. You'll see it goes to various menus, and if you press and hold it, it also opens up the light. So, on the bottom, status indicator light, micro USB, micro SD up to 32 gigs expandable, and a power button. Page turn on the right, nothing on the top. Page turn on the left. I'm really glad it has page turn buttons, manual page turn buttons. A lot of e-readers don't, and yeah, it's very, very nice to see that. We also have a matte plastic backing with kind of a hard rubber bezel around it on the back, so pretty unique all around from front to back, top to bottom. Really kind of nothing you've ever seen before, and the screen is also HD, and it's featuring Frontlight technology, so we do have a very 2012-2013 feel to this e-reader.
So it goes quite light, and you can kind of find that sweet spot. So we'll just keep it on for the duration of the video to give you a sense on how it looks. But again, if you wanted to turn it off, you just hold down the key. So it's off right now. This is your home screen. You can see here that this is the Bokeen store. And what we've heard is that the link to the store can actually be changed. So by default, it's the Bokeen store. But if you buy this from shopereaders.com, they can actually set it up to deal with any EPUB store you want. Kobo, Barnes & Noble, a ton of other different stores, Smashwords and such. This is your main library. As you can see, there's a kind of a cool panoramic view. When you click on a book, it's kind of animated.
I like to see that. Usually e-ink's very slow to refresh, so to see something move with such fluidity, it's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, I like the reader. You know, you basically, some e-readers, you long press words and you can highlight them. This seems to do the same thing, but most of the augmentation is accomplished by hitting the menu button and changing things here. So you can click on the font size, check out tons of different fonts, updates all in real time.
Which is great that it doesn't X out of the menu each time.
And it can get to very big to very small.
And you see that you do have inertia on this, so that when you do scroll down, it actually drags along based on how fast you moved your finger. So very nice feature and very fluid motions for an e-ink device.
Yeah. Okay, so you can see here that has an X and a back button. We can simply click back to get to the menu that we were before. And you can actually change the font completely if you want. And if you screw up, you could always hit the default button, but it looks to be like about 10 fonts here or so. You can hit layout, and you see a ton of options here. What I've never seen before in an e-ink reader is actually night mode.
It's a pretty simple concept. You reverse everything that's white to black and vice versa, but there's not a lot of devices that incorporate this.
Right, so now that we have the Frontlight on, this would actually allow you to read in the dark a little bit more effectively without the white really eating at your eyes. I think that this is kind of like a really cool feature. And something that's entirely, unique to Bokeen. Okay, you can see here that there's a number of other options here. Justified text. You can make the text bold. You can kind of centerize everything if you want. If you want to turn the features off, you simply just unclick them with the arrow. So that is layout that we looked at. You can also make annotations, so you can make bookmarks, highlights, and notes. So you can see a little bookmark appeared here. You can also click on highlights, add highlight, and then click on a particular word. And then you see the highlight button there. So we bookmarked it, and we do see a highlight. So again, you just don't like long press in some e-readers to do notes or to make highlights. With this, you have to kind of dive into the submenus a little bit.
We can make a note. So we have bookmark, highlight, and note.
What I like about a touchscreen e-reader is having manual page turn buttons. I think that this is a lost art with a lot of e-readers, and I do like hitting the manual page turn button, especially when I'm holding the e-reader with one hand. You can kind of click it with your thumb instead of having to swipe, but you can just tap as well. So it kind of gives you the best of both worlds. If you like to just slowly rely exclusively on a touchscreen, you can, but then you also have the manual page turns left and right.
Something interesting about this is that when you do page turn via swipe, you see that it does a full refresh every single time. If you tap, it only does it about every 6th page or so. You can see that it's not refreshing, and there it goes. So this adds a little bit less disruption when it doesn't have a full blackout each time.
Totally. So what we're going to do is we're going to hit the library, and we're going to look at a PDF, and this is sort of our benchmark, the Dungeons Master's Guide. So we'll see how this e-reader can perform with PDFs. You see here, it's kind of hard to read. Everything's looking rather small. What can we do?
We have a couple features here. Go to, it's like a quick navigate, zoom, rotation, annotations, reflow text. The two main ones for this particular application reading PDFs will be zoom, annotations, and reflow text. We'll start with zoom. Obviously, these are straightforward. It will fit the width, height, or page. So what we're going to do is just experiment with a little bit of a larger zoom, which is 120%. You can see there, if we exit out, that this is where it zoomed, and you can kind of tell where you are on the page because you see there's these arrows. Just for a sec, there's an arrow there and an arrow there, meaning that you do have right and down to move because you're in the top left corner. So if you move it, you're actually now opening yourself up to having either direction to navigate in.
What I found is this doesn't really work too well.
No. So we're going to zoom out first, and then we're going to try a reflow. So we're going to fit the page. It's not like Paperwhite and the Kobo Glow where you can actually pinch and zoom. It's actually a lot better to initiate a reflow because then you get the core content of what you're trying to read in an organized fashion.
And the e-readers Peter mentioned don't actually have reflow options. So what we've done is we've basically made the PDF have like an ebook version of it. So instead of having all those custom styling sheets, all the graphic elements, we've pretty well made it just for the text.
Exactly.
And of course, when it's reflowed, you can actually increase the size of the text by zooming it a little bit, which is kind of a cool feature.
There you go. Everything changes live.
Yeah, so I like this, and then of course you could hit the manual page turn buttons. So this is cool if you're not too concerned with, if you're reading like a technical PDF, like a textbook or a book on math, sometimes you don't want all those images. You just read, with math, obviously maybe you do for tables and equations and such, but you could find a sweet spot here. It's a bit different than, say, a lot of the other competitors on the market, but you can put it, say, in this one, and then you could optimize it for fit to page. So we can look at zoom
and fit width. And now you have made sure that the width of the PDF is properly fitted, and you see that you have down to navigate, so if you slide it, you can actually navigate downwards.
So you have to make sure that if you're scrolling that you follow these cues here. This is a visual cue, so you can't really, if that's down, that means you can swipe down until that arrow disappears.
Right, because then that indicates you're at the bottom of that page.
Right. So I do enjoy some of the features here. There's a lot of kind of reflow and zooming elements to tickle your fancy. No matter what type of document that you're looking at, you can find that sweet spot. Let's look at how they manage the library here. It doesn't really look like it's easy to make your own sort of collections and stuff like that.
Looks like I've actually rotated it unknowingly. That was actually a random occurrence, as you just saw on camera there.
Yeah, so you could check out for sure like all of your things here. You have a lot of different options to sort by, so you can sort by title, author, publisher, file size, even the file path.
Couple things to refine your search.
Yeah, totally. So one thing I have noticed is the directory structure up here. So if you're copying ebooks to your Cybook Odyssey HD, is that you could just copy them to your root drive, or if Calibre creates drives, or you use Calibre to copy ebooks, you can just straight copy them to your reader.
Right.
You don't have to copy them to any specific, location, or to create like a special directory.
Right. Once you put books and content into your reader via USB, you will actually just put them in the root, and it'll update library once you unplug it, basically.
Yeah. So this e-reader is pretty well exclusively found in Europe and soon to be on shop e-readers. So it's fairly basic in a respect that there's really not a lot to this. You can buy books, things like that. It does have a web browser though, which I found is fairly exciting. So let's show them that before we wrap it up.
So we're gonna go home, and then connecting via Wi-Fi. You can see that most of the time it leaves the internet off if you're not using it, to cut down on any battery drain. And here's your web browser, so you have full Google web browser. And if we X that, we can go to our favorite site. Oh, it's a little unresponsive with the keyboard. Not much, but you just got to be patient with it.
Yeah, you just got to type like slowly.
And I will tell you one thing, the keys are very small. They're responsive if you hit it. Yeah, you really got to land right in the middle of it. There we go. Thank God there's the .com button. Okay, I was gonna do a slash, but there we go.
Yeah, so I mean, it's a web browser on an e-reader.
Yeah.
You're not going to get a ton of functionality or anything
It's
like
there
that.
as a bonus. You're not meant to go watch YouTube clips and stuff, obviously, because it is an e-ink reader.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's just there for if you do need it.
Best served, I think, reading RSS feeds, or to look at more text-based type of things with more image-heavy content.
Honestly,
a lot of times you're not going to get the best experience.
The slideshow does kind of refresh all right, though.
Yeah.
You can see there's a little bit of ghosting, but for an e-ink reader, it's actually pretty quick.
Yeah. So the big hyping factors behind this e-reader is the fact that it has a Frontlight.
Absolutely. It's ready to go for the up and coming
As you
generation.
can see here, the lights are emitting from the bottom of the screen.
So you have a row of LEDs right there, and they shoot upwards into the remainder of the screen.
Right, rather than a tablet which is backlit, so the light is emitting from behind the screen.
You can see, we'll turn them off, and as simple as that, they just turn off.
All right, so we've given you an overview of this new e-reader. Let us know your thoughts. You can comment on this video on our YouTube channel at youtube.com/goodereader. And for all the latest news, previews, interviews, and a whole lot more, check out our website at goodereader.com. And for a review of the Cybook Odyssey HD, my name is Michael.
My name is Peter.
Everybody take care.